Every year, near the beginning of the year, we see celebrations of the Lunar New Year, but what is it all about? The Lunar New Year celebration is the changing of the year based on the lunar calendar. The date isn't fixed like it is with our normal calendar, the Gregorian calendar. The dates of the lunar calendar are closely related to the phases of the moon, which is why every Lunar New Year is followed by a big full moon 15 days later. Something else closely related to the lunar calendar is the Chinese zodiac. You've probably heard that this year, 2024, is the year of the dragon. It's common knowledge that there are 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac rotations. But did you know that there's a story, a legend, as to how these 12 animals were chosen? It all started when the Jade Emperor, ruler of the heavens, wanted to establish a way to measure the passage of time. He then spread the word to the animals that he was going to hold a race tomorrow where they had to cross a river with rapid currents and reach the other side. The first 12 animals to reach the shore on the other side will have a year named after them. So the next day, all the animals gathered near the starting riverbank, eager to begin. Before the race started, we're introduced to the cat and the rat. There are two versions of this story. One where they were the best of friends, and another where they hated each other's guts. No matter their relationship before the race, moments before it began, they had the same idea to cross the raging river. They both thought that the best way to cross would be to hitch a rat atop the ox, the strongest and most stable animal to cross the river out of all the contestants. So they both approached the ox and asked if it would carry them atop his back and cross together. The ox had no malicious intent and didn't see any downside in helping them, so it agreed to carry both the cat and the rat. Shortly after, the Jade Emperor signaled the start of the race from the shore across. The animals then began making their way across the raging river. The cat and the rat were happy to find that the ox spent no time dawdling and went straight to crossing the river, unlike some of the other animal contestants. Just as the ox was nearing the riverbank across, the rat suddenly pushed the cat off the ox's back and into the river. As the ox reached the shore, the cunning rat jumped off the ox's nose and landed first, making it the first winner of the race. Having finished the race, the Jade Emperor congratulated the rat and the ox and gave them first and second place, respectively. True to his word, the emperor gave the first year of the zodiac to the rat and the second year of the zodiac to the ox who was tricked. Next to come ashore was the tiger. The Jade Emperor asked why it didn't come first, as it was supposed to be faster and stronger than the ox. The tiger said that swimming across the river was very difficult for it, as the currents were very strong and it didn't have the bulky constitution that the ox had. So the third year of the zodiac was given to the tiger. After the tiger, the next animal to finish the race was the rabbit. The Jade Emperor congratulated the rabbit and inquired as to how such a small animal like itself could brave the currents and get here so fast. The rabbit said that it didn't swim across the river like the ox and the tiger did. Rather, it skipped and hopped on small stones along the river's surface and later jumped onto a floating log that carried it straight onto the riverbank across. For its fast thinking and swift feet, the rabbit was given the fourth year of the zodiac. In fifth place was the fearsome dragon. The emperor was even more surprised that the dragon had come in fifth. He was very sure this mythical creature would have gotten first place. When he asked the dragon why it didn't just fly across and finish first, the dragon simply answered that it stopped in the nearby forest to help some animals before finishing the race. Though the dragon was powerful beyond measure, it was equally kind-hearted. For its good deeds and fearsome prowess, the dragon was given the fifth year of the zodiac. Next to arrive at the riverbank across was the horse. Just as it was galloping towards the finish line, the snake suddenly slithered down one of the horse's front hooves. Surprised by the snake, the horse halted its march, giving the snake a chance to finish first, which it promptly took. The Jade Emperor was also surprised at this, but his words were absolute, so he gave the snake the sixth year of the zodiac and the horse that finished after the seventh year. A few moments later, a makeshift raft reached the riverbank. On it were three animals, the monkey, the rooster, and the goat. The emperor was curious to see the three animals show up together and inquired them as to how they made their way here on the raft. They explained that since none of them were very good swimmers and none of them were equipped with the ability to make it across the river, they decided it was best to team up. The rooster had found the raft that they used to get across the river, while the monkey and the goat cleared the weeds that blocked the way for the raft to reach the riverbank. They gave their best effort to steer the raft on the raging river and finally made it as a team to the other side. Hearing this, the Jade Emperor was pleased. No trickery was used here, it was good old teamwork. So to the three of them, he bestowed the 8th, 9th, and 10th year of the zodiac. The goat received the 8th year, the monkey the 9th, and the rooster the 10th. With 2 spots left to fill, the next animal to finish was the dog. Now the emperor knew that the dog was a good swimmer and asked the dog what took it so long to cross the river. It didn't have to rely on another animal's help to go across like the rat or the snake. It could cross the river by itself, unlike the team of goat, monkey, and rooster. So why didn't it arrive here first? The dog simply said that the water in the river was so clean and fresh and fun to play around in, so it took its time taking a bath in the river before finally coming ashore here, and thus the 11th year of the zodiac was named after the dog. By now, the sun was on its last lights, getting ready to give way to night. The emperor was wondering which animal would fill the final slot when he saw at a distance a heavy figure trudging out of the river. It was the pig. As it crossed the finish line, the emperor asked why it took so long for the pig to make it here, since it was almost nighttime. The pig said that it was hungry and had no energy to cross the river, so it stopped and ate first. After eating, it suddenly felt very drowsy, like we usually do after a good carb-filled lunch, so it slept. When it woke up, the sun was nearing the horizon, so it quickly made its way across the river, unsure if the race was over yet or not. The pig was very fortunate that there was still 1 spot to fill, and so it was that the 12th year of the zodiac was given to the pig. Now you might be wondering about the cat that got pushed by the rat. Sadly, as the cat couldn't swim very well, it struggled for a long time in the waters. The currents of the river eventually carried it to the shore, but by that time it was too late. The race had already ended. The poor cat couldn't get a spot in the Chinese zodiac roster because of the rat's foulness. From that moment on, the cat became enemies with the rat, and its traumatic time in the river made it dislike swimming in any bodies of water, or even getting wet for that matter. With the race concluded and the roster filled, the Jade Emperor finally finished his way of measuring time in the form of the lunar calendar. True to his words, a year was given to each of the victors. The years in order from 1st to 12 are rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and finally, pig. On the 13th year, the cycle would reset to the beginning, making it the year of the rat again, and so on and so forth. That concludes the story on how the 12 animals on the Chinese zodiac roster were chosen. Aside from the zodiacs, the years in the lunar calendar also had elements associated with them. There are 5 elements in total: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. These also go through a cycle just like the zodiac animals. To illustrate, the first 12 years would be fire, the next 12 years would be earth, and so on. This combination of animals and elements meant that the lunar calendar is on a 60-year cycle. Similar to the horoscopes, the year on which a person is born according to the lunar calendar is believed to affect the person's personality, and that just about covers the story of the Chinese zodiac and the lunar calendar system. This year, 2024, is the year of the wooden dragon, so happy Lunar New Year to everyone celebrating. I hope you enjoyed this short myth and gained a little bit of knowledge.